Sometimes I go out there and I may be out there 8 or 9 hours straight.
For Wayne Scribner, his workshop is a retreat. This isn't an ordinary workshop. Wood staves are lined up, ready for Wayne to transform them into bows.
The golden rule with bow making is you can always take wood off, but you can't put it back.
He's the administrator of the Chickasaw Nation's Division of Housing and Tribal Development. Wayne became interested in bow making about 25 years ago. Over the years, he's taken this hobby and mastered the art of native bow making.
What my mark is actually 2 staffs that cross with an S in the middle. One staff represents when we were in the eastern part of the United States. The other staff represents where we are now.
There are few native bow makers. Wayne says the process of bow making requires time, patience, and several key steps. These pieces of wood were harvested from a cluster of trees near water in Oklahoma. All of them have well-defined marks, growth rings that will guide the bow maker.
The growth ring is where the bow gets its strength. It will become the back of the bow. And you pick the growth ring that you want, and now you're going to remove all the wood off the back, following that one growth ring all the way through. The back of this bow that you're looking at is one growth ring all the way from tip to tip. It's remarkable how you can manipulate this wood with heat. And what I do is I use fire to straighten it. So it may have a little crook in it, or it may be a twist, and I can heat that and manipulate it back to where it's straight and hold it in place. And once it's cooled, it'll stay straight for you. You start with like this, ends up like this. If you're looking for the perfect piece of wood, you may never find it. It's one of those things where you just come across it and there it is.
He carefully takes time in building each bow. After harvesting the wood, removing the bark and sap, he puts them away to dry for 2 years. The tedious handcrafting will then begin.
And that's the magic, is the tillering. Everything else to that point can be taught, but when you get to the tillering part, I can teach that, but the better or the best bow makers, in my opinion, it's something that comes natural to them. They just have a feel for it.
It's a feel for it and a desire to create the right bow for its user. Wayne tailors the bow to the person, balancing both the draw length and weight. Tillering and finishing takes Wayne about 50 hours. This process of bow making reflects cultural creativity. It's an art that connects Wayne to his Chickasaw roots.
And the whole time you're doing that process, you keep thinking about where you got this piece of wood, and you think about the process you're going through and what you're trying to end up with, which is exactly the same thing that some of our ancestors went through. So you can't help but have a little bit of sense of, it's spiritual and definitely a sense of realizing and feeling your heritage.
Native heritage comes alive on this day. Southeastern tribal archers compete in cornstalk shooting.
This is where it all pays off.
Among the Chickasaws competing, Wayne and his son Matt.
It's really exciting whenever you're shooting something that my dad made. He's Chickasaw. It's just something about it.
The bow his dad made for him helped Matt win the cornstalk shoot at the 2012 Chickasaw Festival. Like bow making, this sport takes time, skill, and accuracy. 2 targets are placed on each side of the field. Archers line up. They get 2 shots per round. The first to hit and score 50 on the target wins.
You step out there and you look at this target and you think, well, that target's 3 foot tall and 3 foot wide, I can hit that. Until you walk to the other end of the field. And when you walk 100 yards away, and 100 yards is a football field. So picture one target in one end zone and the other target in the other end zone. And you're going to try to shoot an arrow and hit that target. 3 feet looks like now it's a foot. It's not as easy what it looks, but boys, it's a lot of fun. It's addicting. I mean, you shoot and you get close, and it just makes you want to shoot again because there's something inside you just keeps telling you, I can hit this, I can do this.
This ancient sport fosters fellowship.
Man, you just get no respect, huh?
Not from the little people.
Oh, yes, it was perfect.
Wayne says the walk in between the rounds creates that connection.
Oh, yeah.
And the camaraderie during that walk is what's really special to me.
And it'll tighten up.
You learn a lot during that walk. You learn different things about your equipment. You may have questions about the type of tip they're shooting, or maybe the bow that they're shooting, or just talking about family. To think that we're doing something now that was done many, many years ago, and we're using the same type of equipment is really special.